You should be watching. Black hole sun, won't you come?
Hey, yo, what's good, people? We have the Dragon Ball third-party action figure, The Forgotten, or however I decide to title this. And kicking it off, Black Hole Toys, baby, Dragon Ball GT. Now, I don't even know what's going on with Black Hole Toys at this point in time. The only thing I know for sure that they're probably coming out with is that Omni God Goku from Anime War by Mastar Media. But this is just one of those projects, we heard about it at the, I think it was like the top of 2025, like the very beginning, literally like a year ago now. And we never heard about it again. That was just all she wrote, you know, and that's the theme of this video. A bunch of projects that we just never heard about again. Nothing technically was officially confirmed in terms of a cancellation. You might even see something that was canceled here, but in general, the general theme is that a lot of these projects we just haven't heard from again, right? This is another Black Hole project right here. This Goku, this was the second render. I put the original render that they had planned, but this Goku never saw the light of day. It was just a render, kind of like the Future Gohan. And Black Hole Toys, funny enough, is another company that had promised a Future Gohan. And here we see some of the Future Gohan stuff right here. They even had a robotic arm in the works at some point, I'm guessing. And here's the original Black Hole Toys Super Saiyan Goku. And I'm probably gonna have to go and find that Future Gohan render, because technically it should be a part of this, but in this folder I don't think I have a picture of it. But this is arguably the best Super Saiyan head sculpt. I'm not gonna say the best, right? That's subjective, but this would be up there as one of the best Super Saiyan hair sculpts on the market if this actually had came out. But what are you gonna do? And of course, we have this project, which, like I said, I think some of the stuff, like this one, I think is definitively canceled, which sucks because a grade 2 Vegeta would have went crazy. Now, we are getting this from Tamashii sooner, I would say, rather than later. Sooner, when I say sooner, I mean like give or take next year or two, I would say. But with that being said, we're gonna go look at the Future Gohan real quick, and then we'll move on to the next company of The Forgotten. By the way, this Ultimate Gohan, I was gonna include on this list, but I'm just gonna touch on it real quick. Technically, this wasn't Forgotten. It's just that the figure went from being a full figure to just a head sculpt kit, which is available now. I'll have the link in the description if you're interested. But let's move forward to the next company. Before we move off of Black Hole Toys, I almost forgot this, and it's funny because I definitely covered this in the last video, but here's another of The Forgotten, and that is the Super Saiyan. I'm just call this the what if / the fan fiction wave for Black Hole Toys. Super Saiyan 5 Goku, of course. Zycor, of course. Goku Black with the black fur, fire. Goku Black with the pink fur, not as fire in my opinion, but cool. And of course, this is probably the figure in the wave that would go the craziest for most. Super Saiyan 4 Gohan. How hasn't there been a Super Saiyan 4 Gohan made just yet? Especially with like Kong Studio. Man, this will turn into a whole nother video. Either way, let's move forward.
Just look at him, square.
Right here, we have the Gotenks figure from Square K. Now, Square K doesn't have a whole lot of work under their belt, but they do have work under their belt. I'm gonna try to be concise because there's a lot to get through, and I don't want this video to be like an hour long. But Gotenks right here was shown off. We haven't gotten any updates on it, but at the time, they most definitely had printed out copies. So, you know, this led me to believe, oh, maybe we will see more of this, but we haven't really heard from anything like beyond these pictures that we're going through right now, right? So we'll see what happens with this. This will be a relatively quick segment right here, but truth be told, the way they did the legs on this Gotenks figure and everything seemed to be very promising. It was definitely interesting. He definitely took they took inspiration from the Demon Slayer figures with that knee joint. So yeah, hopefully we see more of this in the future, or whenever it's time to release Gotenks as a figure. Which this isn't the last Gotenks on this list, but let's move forward.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Up next, we got the main man, Tonson. And back when Tonson had their own Instagram page, we seen these Bardock head sculpts posted on there. Matter of fact, that's where we used to get all the updates from Tonson for the most part, the Instagram page. But after they dropped, I want to say after, and when they were in the process of working on the first, like we was first getting teasers for Gogeta, I want to say that's when they closed the page down. If you go to that page now, it'll say Tonson Art Toys has been dissolved. Thank you for your support, or something like that. I don't know if I never bothered to search if under the name KAMIONE. I didn't even crop this picture. Look at this unprofessionalism. But as you can see, like I said, Tonson Art Toys, Bardock. We never saw anything about these, and once again, like I said, that wasn't the last of Gotenks. Here's what looks like to be a very early render. Well, not very early, but definitely unpolished render of Gotenks. So if we see that project after this Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta wave, I wouldn't be surprised, especially with some adjustments, but we'll see. Time will tell the tale. Once again, another look at Gotenks, very unpolished. And shout out to Kitsune. Yo, I don't think I've seen any any pictures with Kitsune in a minute. Either way, getting off topic, this is about the Forgotten. We'll see if these actually drop. Same thing with the Bardock thing, but the thing is, I haven't seen, like, Tonson seems to be more focused on releasing a full figure rather than a kit nowadays, you know? So maybe that Bardock turns into a full figure at some point, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just the head sculpts that we get. But also, last but certainly not least, we get the Super Saiyan 2 Goku head sculpt. And once again, great, but never heard about this again. Like, we seen pictures of it, never heard about it again. Maybe we'll see it in the future. Like I said, maybe some of these things get turned into full figures, and maybe that's what the case is. But oh wait, is this the last? Oh no, I forgot to put a picture in here like a moron. Hold on, it'll be like a second for you, maybe maximum a minute for me, but hold on. Okay, so this is what I want to find. This will this project ever see the light of day? Who knows? And as you can see, it seems to be a Cell render. And as I mentioned with Cell, particularly Perfect Cell, no pun intended, as my good man Cyrus would say, Perfect Cell has to be perfect, if not damn near perfect, in terms of the execution and how the figure looks in the likeness to the source material. Which, you know, sometimes that can be a little tricky, because sometimes, like, even with the Trunks release from Tamashii with the sword, that Trunks looks more like the fighter's model than maybe a first appearance Trunks when he turned Super Saiyan against Frieza, and then he had the, you know, the little skirmish with Goku. But Perfect Cell, like, will it come out? It's very possible. Something that I talked about with my good man Cyrus is that I was like, I wonder when this Perfect Cell is going to come out. He's like, you know, it's very possible that it ends up being like the future Trunks. Tonson had teased a few, like the tank top Trunks with the short hair, like a while. Like, it might have been when I first started even speaking to him, which would have been like, what, 2020? I don't even know. I can't, way back, a couple years ago. But it's possible that this Tonson Cell comes out after Tamashii drops their Cell. It's very possible, or maybe it just nothing ever comes of it, you know? And that's what this whole video is about once again, but let's move forward. And also, one more thing before I move on. How do I know this is Tonson? Technically, I don't know. However, Tonson had a particular way of blurring out their photos, or his photos, and I'll just post some pictures on the screen. Like, you'll see, like, you should see Gogeta, where initially we didn't really know who it was, and then there was some murmurings about it being Tonson, but we didn't really know, and then it was confirmed Taunton, you know, by now, because people have the figure in hand now. And then I'll probably post another picture to give an example of how the particular blurring out is. But I would say this is most likely Taunton. Either way, let's move forward.
Redo! Redo!
Alright, next we have Recustoms, another one of my personal favorites in a third-party game. And this was a Gohan Beast. Now, of course, Recustoms I think is one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to Recustom DKO. They're some of the best when it comes to the faceplates, how well done the faceplates are, and doing it in a style that people love. This kind of end of Z style, if I could put it, like a name to it. But there's some stuff from Recustoms that never saw the light of day, like teased the Super Saiyan 3 head sculpt for the Kid Goku, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of weight issue or trying to solve that issue, and it just never saw the light of day. I don't know that for sure, but just my speculation. They show, excuse me, I hope the mic didn't pick that up. Either way, another thing that was shown off, an Ultimate Gohan like little teaser, and nothing ever came of this. They just showed it off, and it was just, that's it. It was interesting, and here's the full picture of the Gohan Beast head sculpt, hair sculpt. This definitely needed to be taken back to the drawing board. Now, if the faceplate, for example, had looked like that, and then had some of the hair that we seen, like they sculpted the hair like some of the drawings we seen with Toyotaro, like that one volume cover, or how his hair is when he's doing the father-son statue where Goku's in silver hair, Ultra Instinct, and Gohan is in his beast form with his shirt torn. If he used the hair from any of those Toyotaro illustrations with this faceplate, that would be everybody's Gohan definitive. I'm talking with my words jumbled up, but y'all get what I'm saying. That would be a lot of people's definitive Gohan Beast. But like I said, never saw the light of day. Will it ever see the light of day? It's possible. But that's it on that. I feel like I had one more thing with Recustoms that I thought about as I was opening this folder, but I forgot what it was. Damn it. But I'll add it in if necessary. On to the next thing for now. Now what we got on the screen is something I completely forgot about. I forgot this was even a third-party company. But AG, the Lone Courage Paladin. English, am I right? But this is a hair sculpt kit for Ponytail Trunks, and once again, haven't heard anything about this. Now, it's very possible I'm missing something, so feel free to correct me in the comments if you've seen something on some of these things where I was like, oh, haven't heard anything about it. But of course, regular version, pearlescent version, windswept hair for long hair Trunks, and then ponytail hair. Wait, no, but no static like hair, just laying, like just regular. Come on, man. Missed opportunity right there. Either way, once again, don't know when this is gonna come out. If it does come out, it's very possible, like I said in the last third-party video I did, which released that like a day ago at the point of this recording, that they just pushed this back. And if, for example, an updated Saiyan Armor Trunks comes out based on the mold of that new Vegeta coming out, and of course you would upscale it because Trunks is taller, but let's say a new Trunks like that comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these head sculpts or these companies come out to woodwork saying, hey, you know, our stuff is ready, you know, because you know how third party operates. But let's move forward. Now we got one of my personal faves that just never happened. At this, like, I guess you could assume that this is canceled. You could assume that a lot of these things is canceled. That'll be in this video. But EKINTOYS, however you want to pronounce it, bruh, I was looking forward to this Ultra Instinct Goku so much, and maybe this is another situation where somebody gets a hold of these renders, kind of like the ZT Broly, and you know, they just released like some sort of, I guess you could, for all intent and purposes, a definitive UI, depending on your tastes, right? Hopefully that happens at some point. I'm not gonna hold my breath for it, but EKINTOYS just dropped off the face of the earth. The page is still up and no updates. I don't even expect any updates at this point in time. But like I said, if they get this render, make some adjustments. Here we got what, a potential Omen version, or sign if you want to use that name. And like I said, I was super looking forward to this. But with my luck, maybe we will, like I said, we'll see it in the future. And of course, EKINTOYS also had a Gohan Beast head sculpt in the works. I'm not even sure if this saw the light of day. No, I don't even know what happened to Ekin. Well, they seemingly disappeared. That's something I should say. Seemingly disappeared, but you know, for all we know, it's just a name change, and that actually right in front of our eyes. Either way, on to the next thing.
He makes your ramen.
Up next, we have good old HM, another one of my favorite personal faves. Well, I can't really say that. I like them a lot. I like their work a lot. It's just a matter of like, HM is just like, first of all, it takes forever for them to drop. And then also, on top of that, you don't get a whole lot of bang for your buck in comparison, especially to how like the DKO RE custom head sculpt kits, they've been kind of going off, to say the least, in terms of what you're getting inside your head sculpt kit. And HM just, you know, they're doing, I would say, the bare minimum, even though the work is good. So here we have Broly, and this was meant for, of course, the 1.50 Broly, or whatever number body mold you want to give it, but basically that old Broly. And if it was to drop this, it would feel like the TK head sculpt, where a day late and $1 short, you know? If anything, as good as this head sculpt is, I think it would be better off just dropping it for the ZT Broly. But that market is, I think a lot of the head sculpts are good enough as is, and I think a lot of people would be able to pass on this. Even though I think this is very well done, I think a lot of people would pass on this. But also maybe not, you know? People can never have enough head sculpts, it seems, and that's me included. So don't think I'm just picking on y'all. But up next, we got these Vegito head sculpts, of course. Basically all the God forms. Well, all the forms from Super, really. Super Saiyan God, of course, Ultra Instinct, you know, Pearlescent version, Ultra Ego, regular version, and then Omen Vegito. Now, to be fair, I think it's kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it was a little unfair to include that on the Forgotten, but because it actually went up for pre-order and on 5K and other places, but we just haven't seen any updates on it in a little while. HM, the Super Saiyan 2 head sculpts. Now, this is interesting because I guess technically this was never promised, but it was just something that we seen, and like I said, the theme is the Forgotten. We seen it, never seen it again, basically. So I don't know if this was just to test the temperature to see how receptive people are to it, or what. But yeah, like I said, seen it once, never seen it again. Shout out to Steve Chen, by the way. And once again, another picture of the MUI from HM. Now, one thing that's tricky about some of the HM stuff is that sometimes, like for example, right here it says it's HM, or rather, I've seen this be listed as a HM project, but I also seen it listed as HMX Air. So I don't know what's going on with that. So I'll have, like, after this segment, the Air segment will be next, because they seem to work so closely together, and I can just have everything. Well, if I could just have everything organized just based off of that, you know, I'll do that. But either way, and last but certainly not least, we got the Rose Super Saiyan 2, and this looks great. I wish we had it, but you know, it is what it is. It's not a must-have. There's a lot of other stuff that could be released in the meantime to round out a lot of people's collections. Let's move on to Air though. Yo fam, I am all out of sorts. So I ended up not recording this with the rest of the HM part. So I'm gonna just cover this real quick. Piccolo, Big Green. We saw a teaser for it, never heard about it again. And this would have been pretty cool because we don't get a lot of Piccolo support like that. It's usually, of course, Goku, Trunks, Gohan, Vegeta, and of course more recently, Broly. You know, it's usually the Saiyans that sell. Saiyans sell, you know, that spiky blonde hair, or more recently, some blue and red hair. And if you really nice with it, you might even be able to turn your hair silver or gray or purple if you're really nice with it. But yeah, sortas, never heard about it again. On to the next thing. Moving right along to Air. Like I said, Air and HM work closely together, so for the sake of the video, I'm gonna just have them next to each other segment wise. This is one of the most anticipated things I want from Air. Once again, Air also drags their feet. It took forever for those Super Saiyan God head sculpts for Goku to come out, but I was very happy with what I got. As y'all can see on my Instagram page, I have a lot of pictures of that, I like the Kong body and that Goku head sculpt because I really like the head sculpt. Either way, whenever this drops, I'm about to go crazy with the pictures. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I know they dropped the old version of the head sculpt a while back, and it went up for pre-order on 5K. It even I think they even had like a stock sale for it, but I didn't bother with it because I saw this and I was like, I'll just wait for this whenever this comes out. Here's a render. Technically, once again, nothing promised, but something shown off. Shout out to Steve once again. But Buu Saga Gohan head sculpt, and looks great. Definitely no complaints. I figured we wouldn't see this anytime soon when I first saw it, because I was like, but when did they? I don't know. I don't know. It was just a gut feeling. I didn't believe that we would see it anytime soon. Super Saiyan head sculpt for, once again, Buu Saga Gohan, and looks great. Not a whole lot to say about it. Will we ever see it? Who knows? Maybe when we get closer to Buu Saga. Maybe if there's some type of resurgence with Gohan and his that purple gi. But we'll see. Time will tell the tale. Here is the kit to turn one of your Gohans into that Z intro Gohan, or the title screen Gohan. And wait, funny enough, this kit, if it doesn't drop, might as well be a canceled project, because Tamashii is gonna drop that Gohan now. Like, enough time has elapsed to where Tamashii has revealed a kid Gohan. So we'll see how that goes. And yet another Trunks head sculpt, and I really like this hair a lot. Once again, will it be a day late and a dollar short? Aaron HM is nice with the sculpts and everything, but can't drag your feet, you know. But at the same time, you don't want to rush a product either. Had windswept for UI, God, and base. I was struggling for a second, but will we see this again at any point? Maybe, especially the God forms, considering we got those random God form announcements from Tamashii with Super Saiyan God Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So maybe there's something super related on the horizon. Matter of fact, I think if anything, we should get news on that next weekend, because I think the Genki Dama event is next weekend. So we'll see. Time will tell the tale. We'll see how everything turns out with that. This is the last of Air, and we'll move right along.
Look at my horse is amazing.
So now we have Demoniacal Fit, probably the third-party company that has the most notoriety for making promises and just never hearing about it again. Kicking it off, we have Ultra Instinct Goku, bunch of different variants, intact gi, battle damage no shirt, and battle damage blue undershirt, of course. Will this ever see the light of day? I think this has a good chance of seeing the light of day, especially if my hunch that something super related in terms of animation is going to happen. Now, we won't even have to wait too long to find that out, because next weekend, I believe, is the Genki Dama event, which should be revealing some new Dragon Ball projects and whatnot. So we'll see. And of course, Tamashii didn't just announce a brand new Super Saiyan God Goku and a Super Saiyan Blue Goku out of nowhere. Something super related gotta be happening in the near future. You know, whether it's just an announcement or an actual animation coming out, something gotta be happening. Either way, project confirmed. Zycor, of course, this was, I think this, the name of this project was Tainted Blood. We'll see if this actually comes out. I don't think this is a priority at all, specifically because it's so niche. And then also, you know, based off of something my good man Korea News announced probably like 2 or 3 hours ago as of this recording, where it was saying that a lot of people are taking down the pre-order, a lot of shops are taking down the pre-orders for this, the Demoniacal Fit Super Saiyan 5 Goku, which we will get to in a bit, basically because it has another render of MYR, but basically because they haven't heard anything about it, no type of communication in terms of a Super Saiyan 5 Goku, or as they call the evolutionary apex. Nothing has been talked about in regards to it, so a lot of people are canceling. A lot of shops seem to be canceling that, according to Korea News at least. We'll see what actually becomes of it. I could see it being like a project that's just in limbo forever, and you just never hear from it. Once again, the forgotten, am I right? Of course, the most infamous figure for the Forgotten series, Future Gohan. This figure this character has just been the biggest damn, can't even talk. The biggest enigma ever. Because it's like, yo, why? It's such an easy figure to make. It wouldn't be anything like groundbreaking. All right, new boots. All right, cool. Change the sleeves on the Goku body. All right, cool. Hanging belt. Easy money. But for whatever reason, no figure. Like I said, the biggest enigma ever. Bandit Yamcha, project confirmed. Never heard about it. Saw it? Yo, look, peep. It's a new project in 2023. That's how you know. And of course, this is not the actual Demoniacal Fit page, because the actual Demoniacal Fit page was rebooted at one point in time because of whatever reason. But as you can see, these renders were shown all the way back in 2023, because this Demoniacal Fit page tends to just repost whatever the official one posts, and they don't wait too long to repost it. So as you can see, it's been a while. As I was talking about the evolutionary apex, this had a little controversy even when it was first shown off, because Tablos was like, I'm gonna sue you for, you know, taking my spirit killer Tablos character and making it into a figure and trying to make money off of it. I didn't think that was gonna go very far, just off the strength that, can you really sue somebody over, I don't know the logistics of a lawsuit like that, but can you sue somebody over a fan-made work that's of an official property that you, like, y'all get what I'm trying to say? His work is fan-made to begin with. It's what you call it? It's a fan-made work of a official property. Can you sue somebody over that? I don't know. Either way, Goku with the bonnet. Yo, yeah, I miss Goku with the bonnet. This was, funny enough, a direct response to something that Kong had announced. It was, as me and my good man Cyrus would call it, the Sun Wukong Goku that Kong had announced. We'll cover that in the Beast Deity Kong Studio Anime Mythos segment, right? But this was shown off, and I would have been super impressed if Demoniacal Fit had dropped this, because this is just something that's just so different, so cool, you know? But never did it see the light of the day. I'm hoping to get my Goku with the bonnet, but you know, if it doesn't drop, it is what it is. I think this could really work in Demoniacal Fit's favor, especially for something like, you know, the Volume 18 Goku from Tauntaun Art Toys. That was a pretty cool release. It was different, unique. But this is something I think it couldn't hurt for Demoniacal Fit to revisit. Either way, this right here, the vision for 2025, Demoniacal Fit, the Apprentice. I mean, this was just such a meh release. I would like to see something with an updated mold, but if it drops, I'm sure people will get it, especially if they could put like an Ultimate Gohan head sculpt on it, you know? This one, funny enough, Korean News just talked about it. It was another one of those things where it was like, I have it pop up on the screen, but it doesn't seem to be that priority in terms of a project to release, so we'll see what happens. Funny enough, as of this recording, how I was talking about MUI Goku, which I think should be the next, not this. Oh, damn. Alright, I'm gonna leave it there for a second. But the MUI Goku wasn't on one of the things that my good man Korean News listed, funny enough. So, but it could happen as I'm recording this. I go back on Instagram and somebody could be like, once the video is uploaded, see, I told you. But either way, Capsule Corp Yi Goku. We can see a printed out version of it. Never saw the light of day. Never ever saw the light of day. Same thing, black undershirt version. Never saw the light of day. And of course, MUI Goku. I think, funny enough, out of all the forgotten projects, this probably has the highest likelihood of coming out in the near future. By near future, I mean maybe next year or two. Just off of, if there's super content coming back, this would be the perfect time to release it. We already got God Goku, already got Blue Goku. Why not MUI Goku next, right? Capitalize off of the super hype. And this, oh man, I thought I was done with this segment for a second, but this is taking us way back. Blue Tanks kit that never saw the light of day, available 2019. Nobody got that. Nobody got that. A Cyborg towel. Nobody got that. Oh wait, I forgot something. Man, I'm tired of this. I swear I put it in this folder. Either way, give me 1 second. So here was the last thing that was supposed to be in that folder. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and of course the base hair is right there. But this is one of those things that definitely didn't help in terms of Demoniacal Fit's reputation, because it was something that was, if I could articulate it this way, it was ghost canceled. Like, it wasn't no official announcement or nothing. People was just wondering when it was gonna ship, and then all of a sudden it's just, oh, project canceled. And it was like, wait, huh? What? Bruh, come on. But this is one of those things that, you know, didn't help Demoniacal Fit's reputation, and then of course they became most infamous once again for the future Gohan thing. But with that being said, let's move forward. Oh man, Kong Studio. My bad for the what you call it, noise in the background, if y'all can even hear it. My mom is blending something. But either way, all forms of Zycor. Now, if you're a part of that 5K Toys Dragon Ball group that my man, well, I'm saying my man like I know him, but Jason Cole made to get suggestions for future figures for Kong Studio, really. This is the banner. Or at least it was the banner. It's been a minute since I visited that that group. But either way, as we can see, that didn't really pan out too well, because we got the regular Zycor and it come with a Super Saiyan head sculpt, but the rest have yet to see the light of day. Does that mean it won't? Not necessarily. It could just mean that it's not a priority, and that could be said for a lot of the stuff in this video, period. Could still be dropped. It's just not a priority at this point in time, especially since it's fan fiction and it'll be very niche. Here's something I actually really wanted. Real Monkey King. This was something shown off, well, not technically shown off, but after I saw this artwork, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, give me a figure of that. But never heard any updates from it. Like I said, could possibly be released. Time will tell the tale. I don't think it's a priority, because it's, once again, it's fan made. Of course, stuff that's more recognizable will probably get priority, like the slim down Broly, or you would think something like this, Future Gohan. Y'all, I bet some of y'all didn't even know Kong had a Future Gohan in the works. We seen this, never seen anything about it again, and I have more renders coming up soon. It might not be the next picture, but and it isn't the next picture. How about adding joints? This wave would have been very interesting to see released, because I don't know what the logistics would have been to even, like, the Brolys were already fairly expensive. This would be bigger than the Brolys. So a whole wave of these? Bruh, I don't know how they would have managed that. Not to say that they couldn't, but that would be really a real hurting on people's pockets. This is something, I guess technically I can't even really say this is a forgotten thing, but in a way, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it in here anyways. Like this evil Super Saiyan 5 Goku looking character, which we already have an evil Super Saiyan 5 that came out in the Super Saiyan 5 wave, but this paint scheme, a lot of people was asking me like, what happened with this? I don't even know, bro. Like, and the thing that was so confusing about this particular picture is that this picture came out before the actual wave was released, like even overseas. So I was like, yo, if somebody got a hold of this, I was like, oh, maybe this is some type of limited edition copy. Maybe somebody got it earlier. Maybe that is still the case, but this never saw the light of day. It was never shown to be some type of hidden edition. Clearly, at this point, we could just say that it was just somebody's custom paint job. And there's another Goku like that in this particular folder. Here we have Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. We got the Super Saiyan 3 part with the Xeno Vegeta wave, but the battle damage aspect we did not. So, battle damage Vegeta wave in the future, most likely I could see it in a wave that would have Ultra Ego. And here's the other paint scheme, Super Saiyan 5 Goku, that I was referring to just a few moments ago. Like I said, it was so perplexing what was going on with that. Here we have an actual post from 5K themselves, pre-order later on. Yeah, much later on, as we can see. Till this day, we haven't seen anything about this. So, I mean, not to say it'll never come out, but, you know, the upcoming waves that we know about for sure are the Slim Down Broly, which you know is going to be a hit with the people. And then, of course, the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta wave, which is going to be another hit with the people. Perhaps this wave will come out later, like a Battle Damage Vegeta wave. Time will tell the tale, because they have other stuff to release, and we'll discuss that as we go through more of this folder. Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, I can understand why they didn't drop this, even though it said the Trunks is planned on next year. And I believe, when did this happen? When did this was like, I covered this like in 2024, I want to say. So 2025 came and went, and nothing. It might have not even been 2024. It could have been 2023, but I want to say 2024. That's when I covered this initially. Never heard about it again. Makes sense. A lot of Trunks stuff has come out, and I can see some people having some serious Trunks fatigue, kind of like having the Vegito fatigue, you know? And I bet some of y'all didn't even know. Yeah, don't you even gotta adjust your eyes. Yes, they had their own Future Gohan renders. And I referenced that in the beginning of the video where Black Hole Toys wasn't, besides Demoniacal Fit, Black Hole Toys wasn't the only one that had some Future Gohan stuff cooking up. And your boy, this is the baby right here that's protected seemingly, because everybody seems to have it in their mind that at least they wanted to release a Future Gohan, and we haven't seen nothing. And like you can see, once again, right here, we seen this Super Saiyan 2 Goku head sculpt used, and this was like years and years ago, back when my good man's Burst, ZG, and Cyrus used to be on Baidu and Weibo just scrolling for hours on end looking for Kong renders, you know? Never seen again. And here we have right here, coming next year. When was this? I wish I had the dates for some of these, but we got the Dark Broly after, so long. Cumber we haven't gotten yet, and maybe that'll be the next wave after the Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 wave. Maybe it'll be Cumber, who knows. But never heard about this in a while. I'm sure Cumber, since he's a Saiyan, it'll come at some point, you know. And more of the ape stuff, like an ape wave. Like I really would like to see how they price everything with an ape wave, because that would just be insane. It would be a very, very hefty on the pockets, and I'm sure a lot of collectors are happy that they haven't done it just off of the strength of that alone. We have a baby Vegeta and a potential MUI ape. Come on, man, that would go crazy. But like I said, time will tell the tale with a lot of this stuff. Oh shit, the phone is dying. Hurry up and get through this. Okay, this folder is done, and we have like 2 other things to cover, and you know, I'll let you guys go. So now we're moving on to a company, or at least an alias, that I haven't covered in clearly years, because DL Customs hasn't really came out with a whole lot. I know that the Super Saiyan Rose head sculpts randomly came back online for whatever reason, but DL Custom Super Saiyan 4 head sculpts that never saw the light of day. As you can see, it says 2023, it's 2026. Nothing. We had a tease for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta head sculpts. Nothing. Tease for my man Gohan with the specs, the choice specs. Nothing. Nothing coming soon. Nothing. And once again, the HM segment reminded me of this. That's what reminded me to even make a folder for this company. The part with Piccolo. Nothing with Piccolo. Nothing with Big Green. Now, I say an alias because I was thinking at one point, definitely, that RE Custom, it had some hand in DL Custom releases, but I never knew that to be sure. I thought Lefma is definitely RE, but DL Custom, it was a bit more shaky. I would have to see the head sculpts in person, but I always thought that they was all kind of the same thing. We'll see. It could be like an Air Studio situation, but either way, the whole point is that we seen stuff for this, never heard about it again. And now we move on to the last segment.
It's still a mystery.
All right, so we reached the home stretch, the miscellaneous part of the video, because I haven't been able to assign a studio to any of these that we're about to look at, unless there's something in the screenshot. Because sometimes the answer will be right there in the screenshot, and I'll be like, hey, I know, I guess the information is missing. But either way, this is something I got from Hobby Model Store, in terms of the picture. And we saw the picture, never heard from it, never had an assigned studio, nothing. Nathan. Turles, project confirmed? Apparently not, because we haven't seen anything about this, and this was way back in August. Sorry for not having dates for everything, but just know it has been a little, for everything in this video, it's been a while since we heard anything about it. If we ever heard anything about it at all, besides the one occurrence, like with this, for example. And these 3, I'm not sure if this person is even producing these anymore, you know? Has that more Americanized look, as my good man Cyrus would say, but the sculpt by no means is bad. It's just the stylization, I think, would be off-putting for most people. And we've seen how people can be when it comes to collecting. Very critical of the aesthetic. And, you know, rightfully so, since a lot of these collectibles are pretty expensive. So, with all this being said, this has been BombasticPlastic. I'm always grateful for you guys watching, and if you enjoyed this video, you guys should check out my Maximum Overdrive, which is a third-party roundup video that I just released, 4 days ago as of this recording. And then, of course, the video I put out yesterday as of this recording, which is the wonderfully weird world of third-party Dragon Ball action figures, you know? But until next time, peace. Have a blessed day.